You ever notice in today's technology that we keep signing up for things and there's free things and they tell you you won't have to pay for them for 60 days or 90 days and then we totally forget about them. And there's all these different things that are coming up on our credit cards. And I had a friend and a coach the other day say to me, hey, make sure that, when you're going through your monthly stuff, like look at the different TV channels you guys have, the HBO, the Netflix, the things you don't use anymore and you're paying for them, or things that we maybe got free for a month or 90 days and we're still paying for them because we never canceled them. There's so many different things to look at with the bills, and especially looking at bills for your loved ones. The other day, I actually got a bill in the mail and it was like almost $900. Yeah, $900. That's a lot of money. And what it was for was some physical therapy that I had in November, December of last year. But I couldn't believe how crazy it was, how pricey it was. And I knew that it wasn't correct, the bill. I knew that my insurance still hadn't done what they were supposed to do with it. But what I had to do was I had to call the insurance and say, hey, this is not, this can't be correct. This doesn't even look like it went through billing. Well, what happens is they have different tiers for insurance, and it depends on if you live in the area of your insurance or your company that you live in or you work for, or if you live, so many miles outside of that area, then you have to pay different fees for your insurance. Well, they have these waivers that a lot of people don't always know about. They're called GRIPA. And when you sign this waiver for GRIPA, it just tells you, okay, this person, which is me, lives out of the area, but she will still get billed as a one tier or first tier person, which is like everybody else in the company, the employees. So you just get billed the same way. Instead of a $900 bill, it's probably going to be like a $50 bill or a $20 bill. I'm not sure. But you have to call your insurance company. So I did that yesterday. I called them and I said, okay, this cannot be right. And they said, no, it's not right. It hasn't been readjusted yet. And I said, well, I know that they have me as a second tier, but I'm supposed to be billed as a first tier. And I know it's confusing for people that don't know about this stuff, but you really have to pay attention to your bills and your loved ones, because they could be incorrect. And then they're paying all this money because they just think that the bill is correct and they just get the bills out and paid because that's what they do, So we have to make sure we have to protect ourselves, but we also have to protect our loved ones. So the end of the story was the company that I work for and their insurance. What happens is when you're a second tier, which I am because I live out of the area, they have to manually adjust it to make it correct for what you're supposed to be paying. So I get this bill for almost $900 yesterday, and I'm calling them and they're like, it has not been readjusted yet. But you want to pay your bills, and it's like, well, I've had this bill since end of December and it's like getting to the end of January, and they're like, well, we have 30 to 45 days. Well, it's kind of scary because you don't want to have your bills, go into all this craziness, and you don't want to like get into trouble because you don't pay something on time. But anyways, the shortest part of this whole story was you just have to be very careful and make sure you make those phone calls. Make sure you write things down in a notebook so that you have them, so that whoever you talk to on what dates and time, so that you have those phone numbers. It's so important because something like this could just go into who knows what. You don't want to get in trouble, and you don't want to have all these extra charges on your bills because you didn't pay it on time or you didn't get it taken care of. So just make sure when you have a loved one, make sure that their bills are correct. And if they can kind of come down on some of those TV channels they don't watch, or they signed up for something that maybe it was $40 a month for the first year, but now it's like $90 a month and they didn't know about it. Those little things add up after a while, and you want to make sure that everything gets paid correctly and you save money in the long term because you're watching things and trimming the fat or trimming those bills down. So just take a peek, and help them just communicate and look at those bills and make sure that you're taken care of and your loved one is taken care of as well.